Blood and Guts was 2 weeks ago, but you wouldn't know it unless you watched the AEW pay-per-view because, boy, was there a lot of bloodshed. Good evening, everybody. I am Jeremy Graves. I, of course, am joined by my partner in crime, my cohort in trying to make an alliteration. I can't make it work. My cohort in Canadian destroying base t-shirts, from what I can read on your shirt. It is, of course, MattyBoo Twitches. Matty, it's I'm just gonna call it like it is. It's been a while since we've done one of these. How you doing?
I'm doing better than I did when we were supposed to do the AEW All Out review. I'm going to apologise to everyone at BunkaMania right now. I went cray-cray, and we won't go into details on that one. But yes, one of the unfortunate victims of this was the was literally the All Out review. Couldn't do it. We couldn't do it. We couldn't do it because I went absolutely cray-cray. So, hey, but it's fine because you know what? I'm getting therapy. So, woo-hoo!
There you go. There you go. That's the main thing. And you are back. We are back. And also, come to think, I think Wrestle Dreams happened since All Out as well. So that's another one. We are, because yeah, Wrestle Dream apparently happened. But folks, we are here to talk about Full Gear 2025, the annual November pay-per-view offering from AEW. We're going to be talking about the show probably in various forms. Probably not going to do a massively long review of it, because then we're also going to talk about the Continental Classic a bit later, because there's lots of info about that, and I'm very excited about that. And of course, if you are watching us live, be you on YouTube, be you on Twitch, you can post your thoughts in the comments as we go, and you never know, we may touch on your points of order as we go. So AEW Full Gear, emanating from New Jersey, of course, the sort of near home places of various people on the AEW roster, the likes of Willow Nightingale, Chris Statlander, and also in terms of New Jersey as a whole, it had some very memorable moments in AEW history occur, to say the least. And in fact, I believe Full Gear last year may have also been in New Jersey. Or was that World's End? It was one or the other. But either way, a lot of big things have happened in New Jersey. So was Full Gear going to live up to the expectation of being a November spectacular? Matty, in one word, yes or no? And then we'll go into a bit further into detail.
For me, yes. You, I'm not so sure.
For me, to throw a curveball here that I didn't give you the option of, maybe. So let's sort of go a little bit blow by blow here. And good evening to Harriet and Stitcher, who are in the chats, enjoying and having some good wrestling nattering, as it were. That's what we like to see. So the evening began with AEW's now new format of pre-shows, of somehow having a pre-show going against their own pre-show in a head-to-head battle, which is quite an interesting concept in itself, because the Tailgate Brawl, which if you're an international viewer like us outside of North America, you can watch via Triller, which is essentially like the Sunday Night Heat equivalent in old school pay-per-view terms. Good evening, Sean. Hope you're doing well as well. See you in the Twitch chat. And there were various matches on that card, as it were, that show. But perhaps the big talking points of that show specifically are the fact that the trios titles, the CMLL trio title match, I should say, began on that show and ended on the pay-per-view. We'll get onto that in a second. But also Samoa Joe cut a promo officially creating what he termed as the Ops Dojo, where he had what I would best describe as a bunch of lackeys with him as he cut a promo hyping up the main event.
I got some real early days Dark Order vibes off of this. I won't lie, Jeremy.
Are you saying Mojo's going to come out dressed in like a big purple suit now?
Do you remember when the Dark Order was just Stuart Dose and Evil Uno with a bunch of jobbers wearing Uno masks?
Oh, you mean the infamous angle that AEW tries to make everyone forget?
Oh, well, of course, they've Men in Black zapped everybody for that particular moment. But before that, like when they made their debut and you had a bunch of jobbers that transformed and combined to form a throne for Evil Uno to sit upon, because Evil Uno was supposed to be like the main dude, and then he wasn't the main dude. Wow, that was a time. One. That was a time.
Indeed.
Slight tangent, because I've got the stats in front of me, Jeremy. Full Gear has resonated from Newark, New Jersey at the Prudential Center 3 times through Full Gear 2022, 2024, and 2025. Other times it's been Baltimore, Maryland, Jacksonville, Florida during 2020. Ooh, I wonder why. Let's not talk about that. Minneapolis, Minnesota, and then 2023, LA was Inglewood, California.
There you go. There you go. So yes, let's talk about this trios title match to begin with, the CMLL one. It was El Sky Team, Mystico, Mascara Dorada, and Neon, taking on the Don Callis family trio, quote-unquote trio, of Konosuke Takeshita and Hechicero, and eventually, on the pay-per-view, Kazuchika Okada. Now, I will say, going into... If you didn't watch... I nearly called it something like here. I've got to not call it that. If you were not,
because it was.
If you were not Tailgate Brawl, but you just tuned into the pay-per-view, I thought that the commentators did an excellent job of telling you what had happened in the match so far. For example, Mystico had been taken out with a shoulder injury and then came back later. They really explained that well, and also made it abundantly clear that Okada had not shown up to the building yet. At which point, he then did, in what I think was a Lamborghini or a Ferrari, he put on his jacket, put on his unified title belt, did his full entrance during the match, and this is after we'd had the big pyro and ballyhoo when the pay-per-view actually began. I won't lie, Matty. It's ludicrous that this is happening for like 2 pay-per-views in a row. It's clearly going to happen every pay-per-view now.
Oh, yeah.
But I actually really like it as an idea.
I liked it as well. I wish they won't overuse it. It was refreshing to see, and I could understand from a business point of view how they did it and how it was a hit when what was classed as the ending match between FTR and I cannot remember for the it was Sky Flight last time, wasn't it? No, Jet Speed.
It
was Jet Speed.
Match. Well, great match.
It was Speedball, Mike Bailey, and Kevin Knight. And that was a great tag team match as well. But here, this was just the batshit nature of how it all transpired. Also, from a point of view, right, this can't be good for Amazon Prime. Like, because
they got a bonus match. Don't know what you're talking about.
Well, Amazon Prime got a bonus match.
If you think about it, because technically that trios match was meant to be on the Sunday Night Heat. Tailgate, sorry.
Which wasn't on Amazon Prime, Jeremy. It was
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So Prime got a bonus match essentially, but I digress. But this match was really, really good fun. The big talking point in terms of storyline is, of course, there was more dissension between Okada and Takeshita, which ultimately led to El Sky Team getting the win, and Takeshita looking visibly very annoyed at Okada again because, this is building, and there's another little thing later in the pay-per-view which really adds some spice to things, which I know we're going to get onto. And for Continental Classic stuff, I'm so excited. If this match has to happen this year, please.
Oh, they cannot cock block us again, Jeremy. They cannot deny us this.
Oh, but Matty, they can. And they will for a while. Jeremy. I don't know why I had my hand up, but I did. So from there, we got to our first official match of the pay-per-view, which of course was Darby Allin versus Pac, in what was being billed through Pac, I should say, as being he wanted a straight one-on-one match with Darby, and that mainly stemming from the fact that every time that there was like anything that wasn't a straight-up wrestling match, Pac lost. So this time it was being built as a straight-up wrestling match. But if you call a straight-up wrestling match basically being thrown from the ring to the floor, I guess you can count that.
What I enjoyed about this match is because the thing is, as much as we critique the fact that Darby Allin is an idiot who really puts his body through so much stress, and he will absolutely be in terrible shape when he gets to my age, because that boy, he is actually a very competent wrestler.
Oh, he's damn good. Like it's amazing how many people probably don't really know that.
Yeah, it's like when we had the genesis of Team Taz, when Taz first approached Darby Allin and saying that he could turn him into like a solid wrestler. Darby's like, I don't need your help. This is where I got my training, and I'm I think he's a former amateur wrestler as well.
Wouldn't surprise me.
So he's got the Kavorka and he's got the credentials. It's just that all we really know Darby for is basically king of the AEW deathmatch, more or less.
But this was a really fun match. A lot of great wrestling. These two have got some great chemistry with each other. Ultimately, it came down to the fact that, as the crowd so aptly put it, in one of the few times they were actually all right during the show, they were chanting, "You can't kill him." Because everything that Pac was doing, Darby was able to either escape from or kick out of. Like the brutalizer, Darby somehow got out of that. And of course, that's the submission hold that made Kenny Omega pass out way in the early days of AEW. So there's a lot of history around that. And of course, ultimately, what happened? As I can't remember what Danielson keeps saying on commentary and calling him, but essentially that Punk Wheeler Yuta came out, was a distraction, ultimately leading to Pac getting hold of the baseball bat that Darby had come out with, clocking Darby with it, and then getting the win after removing the evidence, if you will.
In a way, this makes Darby look incredibly strong in defeat, because we got Pac, who tried to challenge Darby in a straight wrestling match and knowing that he wouldn't be able to. And so the plan was always to call in his cohorts to come help. So
I totally agree. And to jump forward a little bit, and we'll expand on this more, the fact that those two are in the same block in the Continental Classic means the next time it literally will have to be straight one-on-one, because if you interfere in the Continental Classic, you basically get fired.
Yep. So this was... I mean, they haven't had a match yet. I think they have had a match together before, haven't they?
They've had a few.
So this wouldn't even be a trilogy. So this would be more of a natural progression between, they fought Darby's way, they fought Pac's way. Now they've literally got to meet down the middle.
I guess if you include Blood and Guts, they've had interaction in that as well.
Yeah, so I'm really excited. I mean, there's a lot we could talk about when it comes to the Continental Classic down the road. And we will, guys. Oh, we will. But yeah, I really enjoyed this match. It was a very strong... I'm not even going to say it was an opening match. It wasn't an opening match, because that Trios Championship match was definitely an opening match, hidden by the fact it just happened to have started on the Tailgate Brawl.
Well said. Next up, we got... Okay, I'm going to try and succinctly describe this. We got a four-way tag team match featuring the semi-finalists of the AEW Women's Tag Team Championship tournament, of which the winning team would get to pick the stipulation for their respective semi-final match in the tournament. I'm going to let that process.
This is AEW Tony Khan having too much sherbet. Hey, I said the line. Moment where it's like, yeah, how can we over egg this pudding? I know how.
The thing that's weird, we'll get to the actual match in a second, but in terms of the idea of that being a reason to have the match, hang on, let me try and think of the way to phrase it so I don't come across too crazy. In principle, I like the idea that a team gets to pick a stipulation for a match they have in the tournament, but I perhaps would have said it would be, if the team that wins this match gets to the final, they get to pick a stipulation for the final. Because to me, that feels like the big crescendo. But then again, what do I know? So the teams were Marina Shafir and Megan Bayne, which I'm loving this duo. It works so well. And the fact we're getting Death Riders interaction and John Moxley's just loving it. It's such good fun on commentary. We've got the Timeless Love Bombs of Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa with their fantastic entrance, it's got to be said. The Babes of Wrath, which I love. They ooze charisma more than Razor Ramon did in the early 90s.
Oh, God, they should have won, Jeremy. Carry on.
The Sisters of Sin, Julia Hart and Sky Blue, I should say. Those were the teams that were competing in this four-way match. Ultimately, to jump right ahead, the Timeless Love Bombs won, and they specifically defeated... it was Harley Cameron that got pinned. I was trying to remember off the top of my head, because we were getting some really good back and forth there. So I am now, for what it's worth, I thought this match was just there. There were some moments, but this just felt very weird.
I agree to sort of disagree. I thought yet again it was a nice showcase of a lot of female talent in this match.
100% agree.
I think we've had better matches down the line from a lot of this talent. I desperately, how can I keep on saying this time and time again every time we're together, Jeremy? Why have they not put the rocket on Willow flipping Nightingale?
Well, Matty, I can tell you why. Because I believe I was told by a mate that in the press conference after the show, Tony was asked about breakout performers for next year, and Tony seemingly reckons that next year Willow is going to have a breakout year. So that might kind of put some clarity as to where Willow currently is in
this. This was her breakout year, Jeremy. Though
that's the thing.
The year before that was also her breakout year.
Yeah. It's coming, but you know what I'm going to say now, though, mate, and this is what I'm hoping. I firmly believe the final of this tag team tournament is going to be the Timeless Love Bombs against the Babes of Wrath, because no matter who wins, everyone's going to be happy.
Do you know what we should have, Jeremy? Because the sheer depth of female talent we got in AEW, you know what we should get? We should get a Women's Continental Classic.
I mean, you could argue that technically there is a tournament running alongside the Continental Classic now.
Well, nearing the end of that, yes. But
I mean, where the ending's going to be is another question. I expect it's going to be at World's End, which is on December 27th.
They should have started it a little bit earlier, and the final should have been here. That's what I think this should have been. Because World's End is always traditionally where the Continental Classic ends. So
it's also where the world ends in some cases.
Well, yeah. By the way, I don't think we're going to be covering World's End, guys. Sorry to break it to you. We're all very busy and on holiday during that. So just putting that there now.
I should say before we get to the next match, anything else you wanted to add about the match? I don't mean to just breeze over it. Just there isn't anything more to say from it.
Just looking at the talent we got here. Like every single one of these teams are fantastic, and I hope we've got plenty of like feud and storyline fodder with the quality of the people got here. Like the Timeless Love Bombs, the wives of Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa. That entrance is fantastic. The Babes of Wrath should have won. I don't understand how Hardy Cameron has suddenly forgotten she's friends with Chris Statlander and suddenly just moved over to her mortal enemy Willow Nightingale. But who can say what Hardy Cameron does, Jeremy?
I mean, at this point, are Willow and Chris Statlander friends? Because that seems to...
No, they are not. We had Hardline found that out. That it's like, well, you can go do your thing. I'll go do my thing. It's clear we're not just going to get on. Let's just be baby faces over there and over there. That's what they agreed upon, Jeff.
Up next, we got what I think is one of the matches of the night, I will say now. This being for the AEW Men's World Tag Team Championship. Brodito defending against FTR. Crowd were losing their minds for this. It was such a good match. These guys have such great chemistry. And a big thing going into this was, would FTR become 3-time champions, or would the, in essence, makeshift duo that just works tremendously with Brodito carry on as champions? The answer is no. FTR got the belts. It was a fantastic match. No shout out to Amazon Prime for freezing during what I thought was the finish of the match during the Doomsday device. I was very annoyed.
We will actually get this out of the way now. That has now been 3 pay-per-views Amazon Prime have put out that have had problems, including trying to watch it. Including when you watch it live, you can't pick up where you left off when you stop. You have to wait for the replay edition to come out. That's bullshit. I think me and Jamie discussed this. I think we've both agreed we're going to be going back to Triller in January. So...
yeah, and it's basically just like, this is the thing. We both agree. The video quality on Amazon Prime is fantastic.
Brilliant.
But also, I mean, from being the audiophile that I am, the sound is out of sync on Amazon ever so slightly, but enough to where I notice it, and it irks me because I deal with video stuff as my job. And Yeah, I'm pretty sure going to go back to Triller just because, quite frankly, I've got basically the entire AEW library sans these 3 pay-per-views now in my archive of Triller.
And also to be that guy back in the day when Jeremy and me would watch this together, we did watch that via Triller. We both purchased it.
Yeah,
both of us purchased it, but it was so much easier for us to watch together via Triller than it is with Amazon. So,
yep, DRM baby, and all that lot.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, you were saying.
Yeah, so this tag team match for me, probably one of, if not the match of the night. This was just so damn good. The match peaked at exactly the right time. There were so many great moments. And it's a shame to see Brodito lose because it has been such good fun. And I don't know if it's going to continue.
It's because not going. It was. I think it was heavily implied in the post social media discussion that that's it now. These two are now just going to go do their own things. And that's a shame because I genuinely love this duo.
I do wonder if Buddy Matthews is coming back soon and maybe we'll get the Hounds of Hell again.
That would be cool, but I think it won't be the same because I think now Julia Hart's just broken up and doing her own thing. That trio is incredible. A lovely set.
Triangle of Madness are great.
Yeah. So I think they'll just be a duo, and that's okay. And because Buddy Matthews is sorely missed. So
yeah, apparently his ankle injury that he got in Australia, like on that freak way he landed in the ring, it's done him in basically. Like
I would imagine that the fact that he wrestled a match with that broken must have done more damage.
Oh, 100%. It's like when a footballer gets injured or that they feel like a tweak in their hamstring and it's like, oh no, I could carry on a bit longer. And then 10 minutes later, they've got to get subbed off because they've done their hamstring in worse. It's like that.
Sean's just had his own little critique about AEW in the chat. And by the way, you can chat both on YouTube and on Twitch. You can do it simultaneously. We can see all of it on our little setup here. We will respond if we need to.
We see you all.
We see you all. Sean said that he's desperately in need of a VPN because AEW is losing out on Irish fans. I don't actually know how. I don't know what the situation is in Ireland when it comes to streaming.
I'm just trying to think logically here. If it's on, because it's ITV in the UK, but I don't know what the ITV equivalent might be in ROI specifically. Because I know it kind of gets a bit weird because sometimes, like, I think Sky Sports is over there to a point, for example, but some parts aren't. So it's a little bit weird on that. But yeah, I'm going to just say it. Get a VPN and use Triller. It's freaking great. Heck, I've been abroad and just signed into my own. When I went to America one time and Canada, when I went to Forbidden Door and stuff, I literally watched the show that I hadn't seen as I was flying out using my VPN to log into the UK while I was in America. Like, that's how I did it. It was great.
But also he did say, what was it else he said? Because Tony Storm dropped the world title. I think this was in relation to the previous match. That means I think he's saying that there's a good chance.
Prime. That's what it is.
Yeah. So basically, because she lost the world title, this could be her getting the inaugural tag team titles. So region locked on Prime. Oh my lord.
Well, someone's got to sort that out.
Absolutely. But
this tag team match though was freaking great. Do you agree?
I agree. I was kind of taken out of it because it seemed like an early celebration from FDR having 11 time written on the back of their trunks.
Yeah, but that's because they're heels. Also, I love the little video intro they have with Stokely as well. Like big Stoke production.
That was really good. That was really good. I think Stokely is just a fun little dickhead.
It's very succinctly said, Matty. Can't add anything to that. No notes.
Come on, you know what I've got to say about Cody Rhodes off camera half the time. So come on, that was clean. That was clean.
So next up, now this is going to spark a different discussion. First of all, the AEW national title. We were having our crowning moment here. What the AEW national championship is a different discussion for a potentially different day or different hour, Matty. So hold that thought. Hold that thought for now. We may come back to that later.
It's because hopefully It's like Jeremy knows me well. A rant may have come then.
I can see it brewing. You're like an old school pot of coffee on the kettle when it's with the steam whistle. I can see it happening before my eyes. So we had a casino gauntlet match to crown the inaugural AEW National Champion. The participants ultimately being, in order of entrance, Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, Ricochet, Claudio Castagnoli, Daniel Garcia, Orange Cassidy, Wheeler Yuta, Kevin Knight, Roderick Strong, Mark Dunkzilla Davis, Speedball Mike Bailey, and Daddy Magic Matt Menard. So those were the order of entrance. Now, that said, given how quickly this match was, they may as well have just done a battle royal, quite frankly.
It wasn't the best gauntlet match they've done.
Now, honestly, I love the casino gauntlet format. Like, it's worked so well in the past. We've had some of the best matches in AEW being casino gauntlet matches, just for the hype and excitement it brings. My main issue with this match is it was just so damn quick. The whole idea was it was like random intervals, and it was like someone would come out, you have maybe 20, 30 seconds of fighting, and then the clock's coming down again. It's just like, give us a minute. You know, you did it for freaking... You Right. I'll hold this a very quick thought. For Blood and Guts, if you're watching on our international feed, the 2-minute interval between people at one point was 5 minutes because of an ad break. I'm just saying. Like, it was irking me to no end.
But Jeremy, they have picture-in-picture. How could that work?
I mean, hey, we got the full commentary and we got some great one-liners, so I'm not complaining about that. But yeah, this match was all right. There was just something missing about it. And ultimately, Ricochet did get the win, which, given how much he was being decimated by everybody in this match, to varying degrees, I was not surprised. I will say, I think Ricochet is going to make a great dickish heel champion.
Oh, great. That's the one good thing to come out of this, because as a match, I don't think it's the best gauntlet match they did for many of the reasons that you stated. It was more of like, how can we throw in all of these little B-plot storylines? Oh, we'll just throw it in here. Also, it was basically the battle of the factions, when you think about it. Because you had the Demands, you had the Death Riders, you had the Hurt Syndicate.
Yeah, I did like the interplay, but how they were weaving everything. Like, there was some really good moments in that.
I'd say that was one of the best things. I'm just to look at an unknown person here called Ian Bolton 8507. I don't know who he could possibly be. But he said there are, to paraphrase Dewey Cox, there are way too many AEW belts. Doctor, take a few belts away. Dewey, I need more AEW belts. Doctor, quick, add more belts. Also, what you could do as well is what you should just take a few other people's championships and you put a sticker on it, like a sticker, and you just say AEW. Sorted, mate. That was a mini rant, and I'll move on. Thank you, Jeremy, for letting me have that rant.
But yeah, that's not to say this Casino Gauntlet match wasn't fun. It's just I wasn't as enamored with it as I normally am. And I think, I'm just trying to think, there may have been one other Casino Gauntlet match in AEW history that just didn't land the way I think it should have done. I don't remember when. I vaguely recall another one. But this falls into that. It is what it is. It was still good fun in places. And Mark Davis, I thought, considering seemingly everyone in the crowd didn't know who he was, and all he had to do was do a couple of his insane-looking pile drivers, and people were like, wow!
Yeah, people forget that Carl Fletcher used to be part of a really awesome tag team called Aussie Open.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so if you want to, if you can only watch a couple of matches on the show, I would say you could skip the Casino Gauntlet. Honestly, that's how I would phrase it.
For sure, and I think we both agree that Ricochet is going to be great. I don't know why we need another championship, quite frankly, but Tony Khan, he's got to have his sherbet addiction. He really does have to have his sherbet addiction.
I will say, I love the old school look of the belt.
Well, to be fair, there's a reason for that, Jeremy. And you know that's a reason.
Is it only being defended in the 70s or something?
No, it's literally the NWA belt with the plates switched over to AEW plates. That was the rant I was going to give you.
I hadn't clocked that because I'm chronically offline. So.
If you look at the current NWA National Championship, it's the exact same goddamn belt.
So from this, We then went to a no-holds-barred match, which, what's the difference between that and a no DQ match for the match after? We may come back to that as a discussion point, but for now, it was Jon Moxley against Kyle O'Reilly. And this has been built up over the past month or so with them having some great matches. And of course, Kyle O'Reilly getting the big submission tap-out victory in the Blood and Guts match on Jon Moxley. So this has been building up for a while. And this was kind of the rubber match now in many ways because it sort of got to a bit of a fever pitch. And Kyle said, I want a no-holds-barred match. I thought this match was very good, but I think it was at the wrong place in the show. Yep. And because of that, I think it was really difficult for anyone to get into it. But you could appreciate how good of a match it was.
It should either have been the opener or it should have been the 11th match on the card. Because no way now are they going to separate the Women's World Championship with the Men's World Championship. Those are now going to be your double main events going forward.
Which is a concept I have zero issue with.
Absolutely same. And I love the fact they're calling it the Men's World Championship and the Women's World Championship, which means they are legit on equal pegging. Yeah. So, yes on that one.
Yeah. Now, I will say, if you don't like blood, maybe give this one a skip. And if you don't like fork-based blood, definitely give this one a skip. Because, man, there was a fork and there was fork action happening in here.
I propose to you, Jeremy, that one day, when we go back to being able to watch things together again, that we produce an AEW bingo card.
I really thought you were going to say a fork. Sorry.
I mean, how else are you going to eat things with, Jeremy?
Anyway. Is there any cutlery on Shop AEW? They need to make a cutlery set at this point.
Like, they even use skewers on top of Moxley's head at some point, you know.
I think that was Wrestle Dream with Darby Allin, wasn't it?
No utensil is safe. But basically, you could say this, and then one of the other matches on this card as well, you could put things as, are thumbtacks going to be put in someone's mouth? Is someone going to use a fork? Is someone going to use real glass? You can put this all in a bingo card, mix it all up, and put it on each one, and then see who wins AEW bingo. Is a new belt going to get announced?
I can't follow that. But this again, I could appreciate this was a really good match. Just I couldn't get into it. Like I loved the action they were doing. I loved the submission countering they were doing. I loved the technical nature of it. I loved how violent it got in places. Like story-wise, it was really freaking good. And Kyle O'Reilly getting the win via submission again, freaking amazing. But I actually think that this match may have been better served being a submission match.
Yes.
Because a lot of the storyline has been around the fact that Moxley has tapped out over and over again to Kyle O'Reilly.
Mm-hmm.
And we know Moxley has got a submission in, what's it called, the Bulldog Choke.
Yeah.
He's knocked out quite a few people in that.
It really should have. It feels to me that the Darby Allin and the Moxley point of interests have been mixed up somewhat because Moxley, we now know, it was more or less your deathmatch guy. But we also know as well that he can be a very competent wrestler, especially when he's had his New Japan stuff. It should have been a submission. And especially what's happened to Kyle O'Reilly, says I had to double check just in case my dyslexia mix up the two surnames again.
Too many Kyles.
I mean, I pretty much agree with you. It should have been a submission, considering the fact Kyle Fletcher may have got an injured arm now out of this as well. He's been written out of the C2. So
this is what we're going to get onto now, because after the matches where a lot of things happened and a lot of planting of seeds for the future. But before we get to that, Matty, I'm pretty sure I probably cut you off. Any other thoughts on the match?
Not so much on the match. I completely agree with everything you said. I did enjoy the match myself. There were some bits on it. I'm not your deathmatch guy. I don't like gore.
Stabby forks.
I will get to that again later on when it comes to our main events. But it's not so much the match. It's also the brewing like subtext that's been going on literally behind Moxley.
Yep.
In the last few Dynamites, which I, again, throw up my hands, I have not watched, but I've been watching enough clips on YouTube to notice this. And especially the social media posts afterwards when we had that promo from Mox. It's not what he's saying because he's just Mox. He's just doing Mox stuff. Look at every single one of the Death Riders behind him while he's cutting that promo. And you watch their faces.
It's what everyone else isn't saying.
We're heading towards basically them doing to Mox what he did to Danielson.
So let's talk about how this really came into the forefront on this show, and not. I mean, you had to look to see it happening, but the commentators didn't point it out. But afterwards, so Kyle O'Reilly, just before the finish of the match, he got his arm essentially Pillmanized, if I recall correctly. And he was ultimately able to get the submission victory on Moxley. And afterwards, Moxley was, in his usual Moxley way, kind of like, bugger, I lost. All right, I'll give you a head nod of approval. I won't shake your hand. I'll give you a head nod, sort of thing. And then he went out the ring, still favoring his ankle, doing the Moxley walk thing that he does. And then he gets to the barrier, and he looks back, and he sees that Kyle O'Reilly is still down because his arm's been freaking obliterated. And he's getting seen to by the doctor. And he's about to leave the ringside area. And he almost has that look of, the hell? Why are you not... Get the hell up. And he gets back in the ring and just starts decimating him. The rest of the Death Riders come in, add to it as well. But the Death Riders amongst this clearly look a bit conflicted. Because there's an element of, hey, he beat you fair and square, what the hell? Like, we're dicks, but we're honorable dicks, type thing. And this really became clear that they weren't entirely sure what to make of this or how to feel. Because as they were then going to leave for proper after a couple of the conglomeration members came out, you could see Moxley jumping over the barricade, Marina following, and there's a moment where they show that Claudio and Daniel Garcia, are just looking at each other. And Garcia clearly looking to Claudio for advice of, what now? And then there's just kind of a moment, and Claudio just goes, almost as a shrug, and goes, go on. Like, I don't know. Clearly just conflicted. So, Mox out is going to happen. And it's just, is it going to be... well, we're going to say now, I reckon Mox is going to get... We'll just jumping really far ahead now. I think Mox is going to be in the semi-final of the CC, and him not winning is going to be what causes him to get booted out.
In more ways than one. But what do you think this is ultimately going to be? Is it going to be Mox turning babyface? I don't see that happening. Do you think it's going to be the Death Riders all splitting up and doing their own thing? Or do you think there's going to be a changing of the guard, as it were? Because I could see Claudio necessarily being like the new head honcho, but I could also see someone new taking on the faction.
I'll tell you what, let's put a pin in that conversation and come back to that after the main event cage match, because I think that plays a role into the discussion on that topic in particular. We'll put a pin on that for now. Now, the reason I mentioned what's the difference between a no-holds-barred match and a no-DQ match is because next up we had the no-DQ match between Kyle Fletcher and Mark Briscoe, which, what's the difference between a no-holds-barred and a no-DQ match? Your guess is as good as mine, everybody. But you know what? This match was freaking great. And this is probably tied for me with the tag match, the men's tag title match, for being the best match on the show. Like, it was just so damn good. Jumping right to the end, Mark Briscoe got the win. Everybody was so happy. The stipulation being that if Briscoe lost, he must join the Don Callis family forever. Like, there was a lot riding on this to the point where they basically told you he's going to win this belt. Like, he's going to win. It's like, which match was it for the AEW did where they all but said, was it Hangman Page? They literally said, we're telling you in as many ways as we can. This is now like a Texas death match. We've added this stipulation to it. There's this involved. All the Death Riders have been taken out. He is going to win. You must watch this. This was kind of like that.
On that note, from this match, and to be fair, a lot of Briscoe's other matches leading up to this as well. If I don't see him becoming AEW World Champion in the next 2 years, I honestly don't know what's going on with Tony Khan's head, because this guy literally embodies everything we can see in a true underdog champion.
I think it's very well said.
I think when he was Ring of Honor champion recently, he was one of the better ones in that whole AEW era, as it were. He's got the Kavorka, he's got the chops, he's got everyone on his side. Everyone is on his side. You tell me somebody out there who isn't a fan of Mark Briscoe right now, and I would call him a fool, because he's got it. That media scrum with blood literally pouring from his head, all of a sudden it decided, hey, I ain't got time to go hard way. I'm just gonna leave now.
I haven't seen anything from the press conference. I didn't know that.
This is what finally convinced me that Mark should win the World Championship someday, because he really held himself in that press junket. Like, for sure.
Mark is guy intelligent, his IQ is off the chain.
Absolutely.
Genuinely.
He's got to win a World Championship. He's got to. This is going to be one of the future champions in AEW. And this is the first real stepping stone.
It's funny you mentioned that, because I feel now after this match, Kyle Fletcher has now graduated to world title picture permanently. He had the match. It was the All Out Toronto show, wasn't it? He had the match against Hangman for All Out Toronto, where he challenged for the title, and it was a damn good match. And yeah, I think this was the final elevation bit for Kyle Fletcher as well. This match was really bloody. There was a lot of ridiculous stuff they did. I would like to say that I think the part that genuinely scared me, and even though I was watching on a couple of a day or two's delay at this point, because life, and I still I'm not online very much, so I didn't know what happened. The part where they've got the screwdriver, and this is after Fletcher has jabbed it into the turnbuckle, but when he's going to do a brainbuster on Mark, but decides to put it underneath and through the turnbuckle, and you could just see this thing potentially impaling someone. I'm just I don't like this. I don't like this. Red alert bulb.
One of the things I really thought, oh, please don't use this, is when they broke the ladder, and you could tell this isn't like a make-believe WWE wooden ladder made to look like a steel ladder. This was a
Facebook Marketplace ladder, Matty. That's what this was.
This was out of a warehouse, jagged metal, completely unsafe. Would fail every safety standard procedure I would give it.
This was basically a clearance sale ladder, Matty. This is what this was.
That we could never use in an industry. Anyway, let's not use my real life let's not throw my real life stuff into this.
Many ladders were legit crushed.
Yeah, and they were going to use one with jagged edges to do their little wrestling move on. And it's please don't. I don't want to see someone legit die. Yeah. This was good. This is why bingo cards were invented, Jeremy, because yet again, things were put in mouths and stuff like that. Certain things are being reused in AEW now, and the whole thumbtacks in the mouth thing, I'm desensitized to that now.
I was trying to think of a parallel with what was work related, but I can't mention that. So
no,
I'll say this instead, Matty. Having worked in the anime industry for a decade and a half or so or more, you get desensitized to a lot of things in anime, believe me. And this is kind of the equivalent of that. There are some things now in wrestling where I'm just yeah, sure.
I used a Naruto reference just now.
But yeah, this match, I would say if you're going to watch two matches on the show, it's watch this match, Fletcher and Briscoe, and watch the men's tag title match. These two, for me, were the standout matches on the show.
Wasn't a good night for Don Callis, was it?
For once.
Did you see that?
You say that. We'll get on to the next match. But because the next match, folks, it was a trios match. The $1 million match. Because Tony Khan, his TV deal was clearly paying a lot of money. So he just keeps throwing money into matches. And hindsight being what it is, but the two trios being Kenny Omega and Jurassic Express, and the Young Bucks along with Josh Alexander representing the Don Callis family. Now, what I don't think was really put across in the build-up to this match, which I, in hindsight, wish they'd have done more of, is the fact that the $1 million was for the Don Callis family, not the Young Bucks and Don Callis.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't until what happened after the match where it really became clear that them getting hold of that money was dependent on them joining the Don Callis family.
To drive home that point as well, there was a pre-match promo. I think it was in Tailgate Brawl, where Don Callis was talking with the Young Bucks, and they were saying, "Yes, you could be £1 million, you could be £1 million richer, but also remember that we'll be taking a significant chunk out of that, and of course, you owe me money for all the loans that I gave you and stuff like that." So they were never going to outright win quite as much money. And there's a lot of people in the Don Callis family. I don't know if anybody noticed that.
I imagine there's hierarchy as well. You know, Lance Archer's currently in the New Japan Tag League. You know, he's gonna be getting location expenses, you know.
Oh my dear! Oh god, I've seen the fact that no, let's not talk about New Japan. This is going to pad this out significantly.
Exactly. But this match though, if you want a PWG match, folks, this is your PWG Pro Wrestling Guerrilla match. It took a little bit to get going, but this was really good fun. Folks were up for it. There was some mental stuff that happened. Just the incredible timing and chemistry that all of these guys have is just so damn good. And I'm not just trying to gloss over it for the sake of it, but genuinely, this was a really fun match as well. The reason I haven't mentioned it as being my top favorite match on the show is because it wasn't, in my opinion, as good as those two that I've highlighted, but it was damn good fun. And the fact it had to follow essentially 2 no DQ bloodbaths is pretty damn impressive.
Because they're now trying to bolt both of the world championships in as the double main event, I'm trying to fight a sneeze. I apologize, viewers. This should have been your feeder match between the women's match and the men's match. We're talking about placement here. And I think having the 2 world championships, like one after the other, it's kind of, I understand it. It's a good idea in principle, but can also be kind of detrimental to the hierarchy, as it were. Because
I get what you mean, yeah.
Because sometimes it will be, well, why do the women's match has to happen before the men's? You know that argument's going to flare up. For instance, like why does this women's match has to be on the very main event, and why does this have to? And it's like, it is okay to put one of the world championships somewhere else on the card. So this is the match which should traditionally have been, right, you've had this big match. This is the match to feed into, ready for the huge main event afterwards. We didn't necessarily get that. We'll also talk about crowd reaction at some point when we talk about the women's world championship match. I enjoyed this. I like this. I don't really like the Young Bucks as baby faces because they are so unlikable as people. I mean, I know they can do sympathy because I've seen like the 101 Young Bucks matches when Matt starts saying "ouch my back." You know, I know they can play like the underdog. I know they can play to the crowd, and
but they're very funny. They're very funny comedy heels. That's the thing.
They're fantastic as heels, and they're like, have you seen Being the Elite? God, if anything could say, why should we like these people? Go watch Being the Elite. That's a very good incentive for you to hate them. Just look at these $10 billion shoes we just bought. We can afford these because you can't, you know? And that's when they were baby faces.
See, jokes on them. I can never find shoes in my size anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Jeremy has to wear 2 pairs of shoes sewn together. That's how Jeremy fits into his shoes.
With their powers combined, as it were. Should also note that ultimately, Jack Perry was pinned by Matt Jackson after a BTE trigger following Omega delivering a one-winged angel to Josh Alexander on the floor. Yes. So after the match, we have like literally 3 giant duffel bags of money just handed into the ring, which the Young Bucks were like, woo, very nice. And then we had more members of the Don Callis family coming out, Davis, Hechicero, El Clon, and Rocky Romero, got that name
Yeah.
wrong. And they came out, and of course, the big moment now is, are the Young Bucks going to join the Don Callis family? And there isn't really an answer. And
No.
Don Callis, in his spectacular way of doing it, just says, I've got money. Let's go, guys. Come on, let's go. Let's go.
What I liked about this, sorry to interrupt, is if you're talking about subtlety, he thought he had them. He thought he had them banged to rights. He thought he put them in his little like sausage party, because there are no women in the Don Callis family. I'm just going to say that right now. Don Callis just loves dick. He just loves 13 dicks in a row. That's the Don Callis way. Anyway.
To be a tremendous dick, you must love dick.
He loves a lot of dick. Anyway. I'm so glad there's queerness to be bound in this place. Anyway. Anyway. Compose yourself, Matty.
You're not doing this very well, are you?
No, not really. So many dicks in a row, Jeremy. Anyway, the subtlety is that if you listen to Don, he's saying, "Hey, look, we've got money. Let's go spend it." Playing into, especially Nick Jackson's reason of, "I have money. Let's go spend. Let's go spend. Let's go buy," which makes them then completely dependent on Don. So that was a glimpse into the future, that if they stuck with Don, they were going to be his bitches for life. So, with that being said, there's their boy Kenny Omega, who they literally were one of the direct causes of his diverticulitis in kayfabe anyway. But I digress. There he is, getting the shit beat out of him. Da-da-da-da-da! Because they knew if they stuck with Don Callis, they were going to be they weren't going to be the Young Bucks of old. They were
He's basically a loan shark.
Yeah, they were going to be literally just IV fed money directly from him, and they were just going to be dependent on him, which they don't want. So this was just a quick fix solution to them. The real money is right there in the ring.
The real money is friendship.
Yes.
So yes, the Young Bucks ultimately came in and defended their elite friend, if you will, Kenny Omega, getting rid of Don Callis family members. Jack Perry and Luchasaurus also in there. And we got a big hug between the original elite trio. And which I now guess means that Perry and Luchasaurus are also part of this new elite? I don't know.
I don't know. I remember the Golden Lovers Elite. I miss Kota.
I mean, look, it's a shame Kota Ibushi got that leg injury on that collision taping. So hopefully down the line, when he can return, whatever the heck that is, because it's a bad injury he's got.
I can answer that a long time, because Kota needs to actually rest.
Yeah.
he needs to actually heal, not just go, I'm about 50%. I'm good to go, like he usually does.
Yeah, but I will say, I really like the fact the Elite are back together, because I can now see them actually doing the Elite being the Trios champions like they were always meant to be.
Yeah. And also, we can see it. We can absolutely see it. Kenny needs to step back a little bit. We're not going to get the Kenny Omega of old. And when we do, it's because he's done a lot of resting. Kind of like Kota.
Yeah. He's readily admitted that as well.
Yeah, so him as part of the trios, with him doing a few moves here and there, hide the negatives, accentuate the positives. The positives are him and the Young Bucks just work so goddamn well together. So there you go.
And to be fair, Omega works really well with Jack Perry and Luchasaurus as well. They had some damn good chemistry.
Him with a lot of people. Him with Blink and Bro Dido together. That was fun. You know?
They've got a good quintuplet faction. That'll be the next titles that Tony has, the quintuplet title.
Oh, don't you make that a thing, Jeremy. If that happens, I hold you directly responsible.
Fair dues, fair dues. I will say, before the Bucks came in to help Omega, Nick Jackson kept looking at the money. And part of me actually thought they might do it where Nick stays with Don Callis, but Matt goes in and rescues. Yeah. Which I think could have been a fun little twist on things, because Nick Jackson, holy crap, he very rarely has singles matches. There was that one early on in Dynamite's history.
Yeah.
I think it was Ray Phoenix. It was freaking mental. He's so damn good. And I could almost imagine it happening, but at the same time,
this was going on for years and years and years. You could see that Nick was the workhorse of the two. Like Matt does it. Matt's good as well. But when you watch like a Young Bucks match, a good part of the arsenal is Nick.
The way I regard it is, I love what Matt does as well. I always regard Matt. This is a weird comparison to make in some ways, but it's kind of like if you used the obvious comparison of the Hardy Boys, whereby you kind of compare Nick to Jeff and you compare Matt to Matt. Sort of Matt kind of being a lot more of the strategist, as it were.
Exactly. It's like a straight man and a funny man in the duo, right? So Nick is the one with all the tools, and Matt is the one with all the charisma. It's the best way I could see it. That's the boys. That's what I used to see when I used to watch them in New Japan. It was Matt was the one that had all the character based work, and then you would have Nick do his flippity doo dah, flippity days all around the ring. You know. So
I'm not like that, but it's a fair point.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we've got 2 more matches on the show, people. We've got the women's world title match. It was Chris Statlander, got my tongue mixed up there, defending her world title against the TBS and 12 other belts champion, Mercedes Moné, but only Statlander's title being on the line.
It's more than 12 now, Jeremy.
Oh, whatever.
She's beaten Ultimo Dragon's record.
Do you know what I say now, right? The pub quiz question of the year is going to be name all the titles that she holds.
You can't.
Literally,
you really can't.
That's the pub quiz question. It's one round. It's called the money round, and it's literally name all the belts that she has.
I will argue 2 of them are the same championship. Actually, I will argue that 4 of them are the same 2 championships, because wasn't like the Rev Pro championship and the
Queen of Stardom.
The City of something or other were basically an amalgamated title. There's just like 2 titles.
Oh, it was a Southside title and a Rev Pro title.
And then didn't she just defeat both the inaugural and the linear like Ring of Honor television women's champion as well?
Yep, she's unified. She's now unified the interim title, so that's only 1 belt though. She's not cheating.
Okay.
But yeah, and also technically, like the Owen Hart title, she'll lose that belt next year because she can't defend it. It's got to be handed back.
She technically like had to hand that one when she had her match against Tony, because that was the point of the Owen. So
we'll come back to that. So we have this title match, and Mercedes Moné has got so many male-based muscles in her entrance ramp, which there was a wonderful dichotomy of what I'd best describe as someone who clearly loves being in the gym 24/7, and someone else who is clearly really freaking who's just really fit and clearly is just in great shape. But the muscle comparity was insane. It was like like a giant oak tree and a twig. It's a better way to describe it.
Would one say that if you were to pass this entrance through like a 2K25 and you change Mercedes Moné for Don Callis, you wouldn't tell the difference?
Well, Chris Statlander's entrance, I can't follow that, Matty. Chris Statlander's entrance, though, was actually really good fun. They made a little thing that made it look like a spaceship had crash landed in the arena, and then she dove through the door.
That was great.
It was a fun little entrance, actually. Now, to kind of get onto the point that Matty and I have said throughout a lot of this recap in terms of the placement of things on the show, because of where this was and what it had to follow, 2 bloodbaths and a party match, this match suffered. Whether it was because the crowd was tired, whether it was just because the show was actually very long, and for once you could actually feel it. Because I think of how much energetic stuff there had been. It's just one of those matches where I liked the match to a point. I thought Mercedes was far too dominant on stat, personally. But then again, that from what some people have been saying, that some of my mates that I speak to, they just went, yeah, but if Mercedes is losing, she'll be dominant for 90% of it.
Yeah.
And then it's a reverse, seemingly, if she's going to win.
just a note about the crowd, because there was a lot of discourse about that. Some people were defending it by saying, "Oh yeah, it's AEW sound rigging. It's awful." And I was like, "Well, you can't really say that, because look at some of the ovations you got for the match later on, or some of the other matches early on.
Look at Mark Briscoe, or look at the men's tag title match. Enough said.
The crowd were alive for those. You cannot use that. Oh, it's the AEW sound rigging is shit excuse." And it was the same for the women's multi-match. Once you had the entrances out the way, you could hear a pin drop during the actual action, give or take the odd move here or there. It's like, this was a very women's match crowd, and I hate to say that, but it was.
I hadn't actually considered it like that, but I'll have to give that some more thought now you're saying that. Which is a shame, because I thought this match had been built up really well.
The atmosphere was off, but the content was absolutely phenomenal. I said this right through this review. I think he had the wrong placement, because now you got to treat both the men's and the women's quite rightly as a world championship. That means they both have top billing on the card, but it doesn't solve the problem of what places over what. And
I think the interesting thing will come to be at World's End, because realistically, the Continental Classic final should be the closing match of the show.
Agreed.
So it'll be interesting to see where things place, because otherwise, what you could do is you could have a title match, the final title match, if you really wanted.
Yeah,
that would be a way to break it up in some way, but we digress again a little bit. But yeah, this match was all right. There were some good moments. It just wasn't clicking with me. And I don't know whether it's because I may have been a bit tired when I was watching it, or I'd wanted the crowd to be way more into it. But yeah, I really wanted Stat to be far more dominant, sort of like how she had been throughout the build-up. And Mercedes was focusing on the arm, which made sense from a story point of view in terms of taking away some of her power, that being the power of Statlander, I should say. But then Statlander was ultimately able to get the win. There was some great counter moments in this, but yeah, I hate saying, this was what it was. What I will say though, I like the fact that Mercedes can't win the world title. It's like the one she can win every other belt under the sun, can't win this one.
This is the point I was going to make, and I think I've made this point before when we had the match between her and Tony a few months ago. That's when she traded the Owen. That's when she should have traded the Owen for her title match with Tony Storm. The fact of the matter is, that's now 2 times she has challenged for the world championship and has failed on both attempts.
Back to the bottom of the ladder.
Well, this is the thing. She can smother herself in as many independent gold as she chooses. And Statlander made this same remark. Yep. She made the same remark. She said, you can smother yourself at any gold you want, any gold you desire. You could be the belt collector. But the fact of the matter is the insecurity that you hold by the fact you just cannot win this one. And I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And I want her to challenge again with another champion, not Statlander. I want her to challenge a different champion each time and then fail again.
Because each women's champion she can't be. It's like it's the belt that she can't win, sort of thing.
Exactly, because it also enhances the person she's fighting. Statlander needs this. I love Statlander. I'm happy she's world champion. I'm happy she won this match. I want her to have some much more meaningful feuds. I want a decent storyline with her that doesn't involve Willow Nightingale. Because ultimately, if they're going to do this, one of them's got to turn heel. They've got to. This whole half-pregnant, we'll both be baby faces, but you've got your corner and I've got mine. Doesn't work for me, brother.
I will say that since Statlander has won the belt, she's really come into her own.
Fantastically.
So great. Love her to bits. I wanted this match to be far more, is probably the way I'd phrase it. And it wasn't what I wanted it to be, I guess. And that's why perhaps it hasn't gelled with me too well.
Statlander and Megan Bain. Statlander and Tekla.
Gimme.
Statlander and Julia Hart. because I think Julia Hart's great as well. She just needs a few more pedigree matches under her belt. Like, there's a whole wealth of people there. Like, she's fought Tony Storm, banger of a match.
Give me Stat and Athena. That'd be great fun.
Stat and Athena works with everybody. And why is Athena back in bloody Ring of Honor?
Because she is the forever champion, Matty. And until she is not the forever champion...
This is bullshit, Jeremy.
I don't disagree. I'm just saying.
Oh.
So, before the main event, not to just move on, but in the interest of time.
Yeah, of course.
Before the main event, we got a backstage promo with Lexi Nair talking to Don Callis, Kazuchika Okada, and Konosuke Takeshita. Hechicero was also there. And, of course, the whole thing was like, oh, Don, it's not been a great night for you, has it? Says them, with a bag of $1 million next to him and whatnot. And of course, this is kind of now stemming from the CMLL Trios title match. I hit the microphone, excuse me. Where they didn't win those belts, and Okada was blaming Takeshita was blaming Okada, and discussion kind of then turned to the Continental Classic and sort of mentioning that. And then Takeshita sort of like looks at his IWGP belt and just goes, all right, I'm entering the Continental Classic. And the reaction of the crowd, everyone just basically went, yes! Because we all this match.
You're talking about like a row of dicks. Like I was pitching a full tent at this, Jeremy. I won't lie. Like, literally, the pair of them, right? They are both like pedigree G1 winners now. In fact, Takeshita is your current IWGP champion as a direct result of winning the G1. We've been wanting this for so long.
Well, we'll come back to it. But what I really liked after this was the fact that then Kyle Fletcher walks in. What, an hour later, still covered in blood, has not had a shower. And he's just like, where the hell were you guys during my match? Like some friends you are. I'm really annoyed. I've lost my title. You know what? I'm entering the Continental Classic too. And you could just see Don Callis have a moment of going, crap, yes!
Yeah.
Then the Don Callis family will definitely win the Continental Classic.
This is what happens. This is what happens when you overcook a sausage casserole, Don Callis. You should know this.
But this was just a wonderful little segment. And honestly, given that we had no news about who was going to be in the Continental Classic, it was obvious Okada was going to be in to defend the... We'll come back to this.
I'm just putting my little graphic up so I can see it.
Oh, no, that's cool. But yeah, we'll come back after a break, as it were. But
it
was... We always knew Okada was going to be in there because he needs to defend the Continental Championship. I'll come back to that point after the break. But the fact we got Takeshita confirmed and then Kyle... Everyone was just like, yep, banger matches already. Like, you can picture it. You can imagine it. Going to be so good. Oh, and the other thing as well was that Fletcher storms out, then Okada storms out, and then Callis then says to Takeshita something to the effect of, look what you've done to Takeshita. Kind of thing, like blaming Takeshita for them being annoyed. And you could always see that look at Takeshita going, all right. Okay. It's brewing. I can't wait.
This has been going on for months as well.
It's the best. It's the best. It is the best built thing in AEW. There you go.
Oh, they've done some great builds, but the fact the actual undercurrent of this has been brewing for so long, and it's all the work of Don Callis as well. Like I've been taking the mickey out of him this whole review, but you got to give it for the fact that the subtlety that he has sprinkled over this entire thing in the course of about a year has been incredible work. When they sort of like stealthily brought Okada into the fold, as it were, from the Elite to the Don Callis family, because he is a member of the Don
It was
Callis
for the Omega
family.
match, for the unification match.
He described him as the #1 Japanese import.
Yeah.
When he already had Takeshita, who was his #1 like guy from the very start of this family.
Little sprinklings of salt. Just,
And from that, I kept that. Matty remembered.
Yeah.
And Matty has been keeping those on this whole time, and it's been incredible.
100% agree. So this then brings us on to the main event In a steel cage match for the AEW Men's World title, Hangman Page defending against Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe, the lonely Samoa Joe, and his Ops Dojo lackeys on the ramp. And then Hangman Page, who seemingly now has got new music, which I've read in one or two places. Apparently, it's something from Red Dead Redemption. I wouldn't know. I kind of prefer the other music, but I'm sure this will grow on me gradually. So, we're about 2 minutes into the match, Matty.
Yes.
And Joe is busted open like a tap.
Yes.
Just buckets. Well, glasses of blood. You know.
He bled so much that not only did he make a pool of blood during the course of the ring, he made a mountain of blood. You could literally see as the blood was congealing on the mat and was like this thick. And the one thing that I remembered from this was, remember that match in NXT where he got cut by accident and they had to halt the match so they could stop him to fix him up, because at this point we were balls deep into the PG era and they didn't want to show blood on television.
Oh, was that? I've got. Was it Devitt? What's his name in WWE? Balor. Sorry,
Finn Balor.
Yeah, it was WrestleMania weekend, because that's when you had the hardcore fans going like FPG while Stephanie McMahon was sitting in the front row or something. Anyway, I digress. So yes, there was a lot of blood in this match, and I enjoyed a lot of this match.
Yes.
The problem is after everything we had seen, it didn't feel as impactful. And it should have done, because the build up to this match has been phenomenal. The amount of bloodbaths we saw earlier in the show, the amount of high octane action we'd had, to me, there was just something missing. And I cannot put my finger on what it is, but I was really interested in the match, but I just couldn't get into it. And it may have just been my state of mind when watching it. I may have been really tired at that point. I don't know, but for whatever reason, this just wasn't clicking with me.
I can fill this in, Jeremy, because we're going to speed right up to the finish. And the finish was, Joe didn't win this on his own regard. Joe won this with the help of the Ops, including a returning Hook, who at this point was teaming up with one Eddie Kingston. And in fact, they won their match in the tailgate brawl. And so I think I can fill in the missing part of this puzzle for you, Jeremy. And I give to thee a question. Where the fuck was Eddie Kingston?
He was brawling in the back with Shibata. But we never saw him again, so we don't know how it happened.
Yeah, you're right.
Sorry, I hate to just completely just blow your theory out the water.
Yeah. But why didn't he come back? I know you're going to say because he was still brawling, but you needed him back for that.
Well, so this is the thing. So, okay, I'll tell you what. What I'll say now is we don't know what happened to Kingston in the back. And that may play into part of what occurs next. So, you mentioned Hook. So, Powerhouse Hobbs comes to ringside, rips the chain from the door, opens the door, gets involved. Hangman is outnumbered. There is no other way of putting it. Then Hook comes down wearing the most orange Team Taz jacket I have seen in probably 20 years. And he's got this jacket on. He's trying to wake up the ref because Joe ran into the referee, went face first into the cage. And Hangman at this point has had maybe 2 or 3 visual pinfall attempts as well. He hit the buckshot. He hit a dead eye, I think it was. Joe was out, clearly. And you just kind of got this feeling, Hangman ain't going to win this, is he? You just kind of knew. Then Hook comes in, tries to stir the referee, and then he stands up, and he sort of turns to the camera, gives almost like a little shit-eating grin. He grabs the belt, clocks Page in the face with it, undoes his jacket, reveals an actual Ops t-shirt, not Ops Dojo. He's not a lackey. He's a proper dude.
Yeah.
He has an Ops t-shirt on. The whole thing's been a ruse. We'll come back to how it actually makes total sense as well in hindsight, which I know is hard to believe.
Oh,
and then Joe then, I believe, gets the muscle buster on Hangman and then gets the pin 1, 2, 3. Samoa Joe is your world heavyweight champion. And after the match, the cage is being raised. Hook is there celebrating. Shibata comes out. No sign of Kingston, so we have no idea what is going on. We'll come back to what happens next in a moment, Matty,
Mm.
but with the Hook dynamic. It's weird because when you think back, and I've been thinking about this more over the past day, and I actually really like this because it poses potential for what is to come. Because if you recall, the reason that Hobbs got into the Ops, bear with me, folks, I'll try and be quick on this.
Yeah.
The reason that Hobbs got into the Ops was because the trios titles were meant to be defended. Hook couldn't get cleared. And there were reports going around online that he threw up at ringside during a tag match or something. And
it was on camera.
There you go. So he was not cleared. So Hobbs was a replacement and then kind of became the new member of the Ops by default. Then when Hook came back a little bit later, I think he maybe helped out Joe in a match of some kind. He hit someone with a kendo stick and was clearly visibly annoyed at Joe and kind of had that look of that's the favor returned. We're done sort of thing. Then he explained a promo, probably on Collision or something, because no one, let's be fair, no one watches it apart from us.
Nobody watches it apart from you. I stopped watching it a long time
ago. Fair dues,
ago.
all right. But there was a promo with Hook where he basically said he was annoyed, but he gets it. Like in the sports context, if someone gets injured, someone else has got to step up, like in a team concept. So he got it. He didn't necessarily like it, but he got it. He then starts teaming with Eddie Kingston. Seemingly Kingston's becoming a bit of like a mentor to him and whatnot. Then we fast forward to a couple of weeks ago on Dynamite, where there is a trios title match with the Ops defending against Kingston, Hook, and Hangman Page. And in the opening promo on the show, it was Hook that antagonized Joe to put the titles on the line. Now, at this point as well, and this is all from memory, I'm going for this, by the way. At this point, if I remember correctly, the Ops had not defended the titles in ages. And this wasn't necessarily mentioned, but there was kind of that feeling of, they're actually going to defend these belts or not? When? And it gets to the match, and it's playing out how it plays out. It gets to be Joe and Hook. And they fought a bit during the match, as you do. But then Joe gets the Coquina clutch on Hook, and Hook immediately taps. To the point where the announcers are going, that was a bit quick, sort of thing. And at the time, you're just like, oh, okay, bit random, sure. And then Hook in an interview, I think with Kingston, because Kingston said, everyone keeps asking Hook, why'd you tap so quickly? Why did you tap out quickly? And Hook just went, I knew I was done. So tap out early, live to fight another day type thing. In hindsight, he was keeping the belts with the Ops. And just little things like that. It all makes sense. Yeah. Where Kingston stands in this is the big question. Like, was he taken out backstage by Hook? Did Hook and Shibata take out Kingston so he couldn't come out at the end to help? There's a lot of unanswered questions here, but you can bet that Kingston is not going to like the fact, unless he's going to join the Ops as well, he's not going to like the fact that Hook's basically played him.
That's the one part of this that I think was missing at the end of this thing. I fully agree with you that they did right by having Hook rejoin the Ops. I think it's better for him.
Yeah.
By the way, obviously the color orange bequeathed to him by his dad, Taz, which that's another thing. When they bring Taz back from injury, like it's a dangerous thing being Taz. Does that mean Taz is technically going to be like a heel commentator again?
Oh no, the way Taz has always played what Hook has done is like, hey, Hook's his own man. He's essentially said, like, I'm his dad, but he could do what he does.
Yeah.
Oh, Sean in the chat, you melt my heart with the suggestion.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's either that or Kingston's going to join. It's as simple as. I am happy that Kingston is back. Again, that's another guy that should be AEW World Champion at some point. Understandably, there is also his mental health demons to take into consideration as well. Totally understand that more than people know.
And he's just come back from a massive injury as well.
Indeed, and yeah, so that's what I'd love to. He's not in this year's one, but I hope to see him back for next year's Continental Classic as well because he did fantastically in his previous turnouts. But
that was not all of the post show, though, Matty. So, or the post match show. We'll get to that in a second. But do give me your final thought there.
My final thought is I actually didn't mind the result of this. Joe has proved to be a very good champion in the past. We know he can be great. I think this could be a fantastic run, depending on what they're actually going to do with this ops business. I do think there's way too many heel stables in AEW. I mean, it's at this point, the conglomerate seem to be like an island unto themselves, and they're not really as stable when you think about it. They're just anything goes tranquilo type bunch of people when you think about it.
They like to go down the pub, you know.
Like, they've got to pick a lane. There's way too many dickhead stables in AEW because, again, Tony Khan loves his sherbet. And one of the things he loves is old school stables where everybody's a bastard.
So, because we're going to come back to the stable thing, and that will play into discussion before we wrap up the full gear. So I also appreciate how long we've been going.
Yeah.
Contrary to me saying there's probably not a lot to say about this pay-per-view. Haha, I laugh. So afterwards, the lights go out, and we then see the silhouette of Prince Nana. And then some music hits that we've not heard before, and it is Swerve Strickland, who is looking jacked, by the way. Holy heck, he has been in the gym. And apparently he's been like on a whole new bulking up regimen as well. So like he is looking jacked. He comes in. Joe basically says, Swerve, how nice to see you. Here is the Hangman on a silver platter for you. Joe totally misreading the room. The crowd knows what's about to happen. Joe, for once, is not on the ball. No. And then Swerve basically takes out the Ops Dojo lackeys while the Ops proper are on the ramp. And the show ends with Hangman and Swerve standing side by side in what now looks like is going to be the Hangman Swerve dynamic, as it were, whatever they're going to call it, versus the Ops. And then, of course, you throw into the fact, where does Eddie Kingston fall in this? The state of the Death Riders that we were alluding to earlier, and where does Moxley stand, and how does that maybe come into play? Could there be a union of some kind between the Ops and the Death Riders at some point? There's a lot of potential here for where this could go.
There's some residual part of like Ospreay thrown into this as well, considering he's part of the storyline leading up to this. I mean,
no idea when he'll be coming back, but
I would say not necessarily Ospreay himself, but if they did things correctly, you could have like Windsor involved. You can have some of the other people around, like Ospreay involved in this until he returns.
The Ospreay pantheon, if you will.
yeah, more or less. Hell, in case of instance, Carl Fletcher. But we'll get to that another time. There is so much to be gleaned from this. I didn't mind the end result of this. I know a lot of people said it was too soon after Hangman did this. Hangman has had a long reign, and he's a guy who will have another reign down the line. I can see Hangman being a multi-time champion, and richly deserved, because he's absolutely great. I think that Samoa Joe's first title reign had a lot to be desired, and I think that you could do with a better one. This could potentially be the better run for him. I do agree that it technically ended on a bit of a dud, but then you also had the tantalizing part of Swerve, and we don't know what's going to go on from there on in, as you say. There's some potentials. And I think that the Ops themselves are so much richer by having Hook back. And they could do their little funny stick as well and be absolute gits. Like, I loved the charisma between them and Shibata and Powerhouse when they were going around beating up people just for the hell of it. You can bring some of that back. You know, they're technically what the Death Riders started out as, if you think back now.
Yeah.
You know, so let's just hope they don't go the same way.
Indeed, right. But do you know what this already feels like it's building to, Matty, even though it only happened 2 weeks ago? Blood and Guts.
Oh my God. Yeah, but that only happens at a select time. I still haven't watched either one of those Blood and Guts matches. I really should.
Worth it. It's worth it, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, by comparison, you'll think this pay-per-view is tame watching it in that order. But yeah, so to bring it all around, I enjoyed lots of little elements of this pay-per-view, but to me, there are only two standout matches, that being the tag title match and the Mark Briscoe-Fletcher match.
I had a good time. I will agree to disagree. I don't think this was a mid-show. I do think it isn't without its problems. Some of those problems have been prevalent with other AEW pay-per-views, I could argue. But I found myself enjoying this pay-per-view from start to finish. Even the pre-show. I loved the Costco guys match. I loved it, even though it was definitely several shades of terrible, but it was the fun sort of terrible. How the hell is QT Marshall now a babyface? That doesn't work in anybody's rib. Anyway, it was shit, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed this show.
It's all good. It is all good.
So for me, I'm sorry, but
no, mate. Look, I'm a massive AEW fan. But I think what's probably not helped me recently is. This is a personal Jeremy thing. So life has been very busy, and so with so with Dynamite being what the most recent one was 3 hours because they tacked an hour of Collision onto the end. The week before was 2.5. The week before that I think was 2.5 or 3. It's been averaging like 2.5, 3 hours. So trying to find the time to watch the show I really want to watch and spoiler free as well. Like it's just it's
and trust us, guys. When Jeremy says spoiler free, Jeremy really does try and avoid anything, even a graphic. If a graphic is there and he can glimpse some kind of hidden code in it that there may be a spoiler, he will bollock you for it for spoiling him.
So we're talking about Matty. It's never happened before at all. Right, folks, what we're going to do, we're going to take like a minute's quick break because we're going to play a quick video relating to our good friend the Decadane's upcoming Danemas. I will say shenanigans in a friendly way, obviously. The Danemas drive, if you will, for December. So we're going to play a quick video of that for about a minute. Then we're going to come back and we're going to talk Continental Classic. So we'll be right back after this. So yes, as you saw there, folks, raising money for Samaritans in December. Our good friend, the Decadane, over on his channel on Twitch, will be doing lots and lots of fundraising. So stay tuned for more info accordingly.
I will chip in at this point because obviously I am involved in Damas, have been somewhat both behind the scenes as a subsidiary and even as a presenter, especially last year. This one's going to be absolutely special. I know that Ian's got some great ideas brewing even as we speak. From a personal point of view, the Samaritans, great team that that we are supporting this year. For somebody who had a mental break a couple of months ago to a month ago, talking to somebody is one of the best things you could do. Absolutely do not keep it bottled in. Everybody has some sort of mental shenanigans going on. And just to really drive home the point, I nearly did something really, really silly, which Jeremy and everyone around me knows all about. And had I not talked to people that I consider friends and supporters, I may well have done something silly. So the need to talk to somebody is there. Please do not suffer in silence. The Samaritans are there for a reason. If you've got a support network, talk to them. But the Samaritans do fantastic work. Please go support them. Please go support Damas. Trust me, we are going to be there to entertain the socks off of you this year.
Well said, Matty. I cannot add anything to that. Very well said indeed. Forgive the tonal shifting conversation, as it were, but Continental Classic, Matty, it is December. It's that time of year. And we've got announcements because it kicks off on Dynamite tomorrow night when we're doing this live show. It begins tomorrow night. I'm very excited. We have had the 2 leagues of people, if you will, announced. So we're going to go through those. I'm going to try and adjust some things on the screen so we could discuss the field, if you will.
Do you want to go through like the Gold League and I'll go through the Blue League so we can share it equal dibbings?
Well, we can do. We'll see how it goes. But let me just adjust some things on the screen. Here is a cheeky little graphic that I made. There we go. So the Gold League participants are Darby Allin, Pac, Kevin Knight, Speedball Mike Bailey, Kyle Fletcher, and defending champion Kazuchika Okada. Now, Matty, to clear this up, well, I say to clear this up, to add more confusion in the clarity, regarding the Continental Championship.
Oh, God.
Because that's been unified with the international title to make the unified championship. Per AEW, AllEliteWrestling.com, simply titled Continental Classic Field Announced. Within this, they say the following, quote, the reigning tournament winner, Kazuchika Okada, now sees his AEW Unified Championship reign in danger, as the winner of this year's Continental Classic will be crowned the Continental Champion at World's End.
Yes, so just to actually clarify the clarification, what the Unified Championship is whoever holds the International Championship and the Continental Championship simultaneously, by default, makes them the Unified Championship, and the physical belt is associated with that. Once they lose one of the two belts, they also, by proxy, are no longer the Unified Championship, ergo, they lose that too. So whoever then holds that particular sequence of titles will also then, in turn, then become the new Unified Champion. So it is totally reasonable. You can split them back off again, and then whoever gets them both back is then the Unified Championship. That I get. That is fine. I still say, why?
Matty, I raise you the simple retort of, why not?
Sherbet. So much sherbet.
So the rules of the tournament, for those who need a quick refresher, 3 points for a victory, 0 points for a loss, 1 point for a draw in each match. Each match has a 20-minute time limit. Everyone is banned from ringside. You may get fired if you interfere, as it were. It's like the most... it's like the most stringent rule ever in AEW. Like, if you interfere in one of these matches, you're freaking out, basically. Additionally, the semi-finals and final will take place at World's End on December 27th. The winners of each block will face the runner-up of the respective other block. And then the winner is crowned the Continental Champion. So, this Gold League, Matty, I'll be honest, I love it. The potential of the match, it's going to be great. I think the match I'm most looking forward to seeing, I mean, I don't know why I'm trying to pick one, but the idea of seeing Okada and Speedball, I can't wait.
The idea of seeing Speedball, Mike Bailey, and Kevin Knight face off against one another is going to be tantalizing.
Yeah. All of these matches are great. All of them.
Just to point out, because Harriet mentioned this way earlier on in the review, where she said, who came out to a quote from Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z? It was Carl Fletcher. Carl Fletcher had the write-up from the dub with some things tweaked. That was a direct quote from Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z when he was talking about arrogance.
There you go.
That was Kyle, because Kyle, believe it or not, wrestlers can be complete and utter weebs.
Oh, mate, Ricochet's a weeb. Have you know the jackets that the Demand come out with? That's straight out of the Marines for One Piece.
Yeah,
literally.
Oh, I know. I'm about to start the next arc after Alabasta.
There you go.
There we go. I got there.
But yeah, this Gold League field is really, really good. And Matty, the Blue League field.
Oh, now this has got a lot of potential.
So we've got Konosuke Takeshita, Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, Orange Cassidy, Roderick Strong, and from CMLL, Mascara Dorada.
So straight off the back of this, you've got two conglomerates. We know that Roderick Strong is kind of like a disgruntled member, as it were, because he got dragged in by Kyle. So the fact that you got him versus Orange Cassidy at one point, the very interesting part of this is the fact you got both John Moxley and Claudio in the same bracket as well. That could potentially feed into what the dissension is behind the Death Riders. Also, got to remember that in the previous C2, Claudio had a big loss in the C2.
He also had a big match with Danielson, didn't he? I seem to recall.
Yes, and literally one of the seeds of dissension between him and Danielson, which then led to the breakaway of Danielson from the Death Riders, was sown in the C2 when he told him it's just a loss. You can lose, it's fine. When Danielson said to Claudio. So the fact you got him and John, all tantalizing.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say whatever happens in that match, it is going to play a big part. Either in that match or perhaps a meeting with Mox and Pac, should it happen in the semi-finals or final. One of those two will have an impact on the future of Moxley and the Death Riders.
I can see one of two things, because I don't see... The only piece of the puzzle here that doesn't quite fit is Mascara Dorada. Like, where does he fit in all of this? It could be a great workhorse. I could potentially see Roderick Strong being the no points, like, doesn't get a single win the entire round.
I reckon everyone's going to get a win. I don't think anyone will go 0.
Yeah, but if you want somebody who's going to get more and more disgruntled, that is Roderick Strong.
Shall I make a prediction here?
Yeah.
Moxley won't win his first 3 matches.
Oh, God. Oh, what if Mox is the no-score blinking?
Right?
Oh, you know what? I take it all back. You're quite right.
So my big prediction, if I get the Gold League names up as well, I should have done one with all the names on, to be fair. But my prediction, a semi-final, and I say semi-final for a reason here, will be Okada v Takeshita. I don't think it will be the final, but I think we'll get them in a semi-final, because you imagine that match opens World's End. It will basically just destroy the rest of the pay-per-view.
Tony's going to blue ball us, isn't he? He's so going to blue ball us.
It's like in the G1 where it's like a couple of years ago when Noah and New Japan were doing a thing. But like there was a big thing between Kaito Kiyomiya and Okada happening. And they were both in the G1, but in different blocks. And then Kiyomiya just did sod all, and we never got the match that we wanted. It's like, we were all thinking, we know what this means, we can't wait. And it just never happened. But with this, like, that's why I'm saying semi-final. That's how I think. In terms of who will win it outright, I'm really rooting for Takeshita, because I want him to win the G1 and the C2 in the same year, because it would also just rub that extra salt in the wound on Okada as well. I could see maybe... where's the other graphic? Sorry. There we go. I could maybe see, at a push, Claudio going the whole way.
Yeah, agreed.
I say at a push only from the perspective of I'd much rather... that Takeshita win it. But I think it will just depend on the state of the Death Riders. Like, if Moxley gets to the final but loses, then he's out the Death Riders. I could just see that being a thing.
If this is a C2 that Orange Cassidy wins...
Hey, you know what? The matches are going to be great. Also, don't forget that words, Jeremy. 2 or 3 shows worth of tapings will be in the UK.
Agreed. In fact, where were they now? Well, I think wasn't one Cardiff.
Yes, you went very Welsh then.
Oh, it's the only way I can pronounce it. I'm sorry, but
that's fine. So we've got Collision in Cardiff on Saturday the 13th. So it'll be Collision in Cardiff, 13th of December, and then Dynamite Holiday Bash and Collision Holiday Bash will be in Manchester.
Oh man. I'm gutted I can't see any of these live, but jeez,
mate, I'm just up for the C2. Like,
yeah,
I know I said what I said when I reviewed Forbidden Door about maybe going to watch an AEW live show, but for the C2, with seeing the field, I would really like to know what the matches are going to be, because I think that's the drawing point for me.
I'm hoping that World's End is an early start pay-per-view, just so the possibility you and me can watch it together.
I wonder if it is. Let me look it up. World's End December 27, Chicago. Oh, I'm taking the Ticketmaster. Nope, 6 p.m. local time.
Oh, phooey.
There you go. And apparently they've also announced 2 more shows in Australia. I didn't realise. There you go.
Oh, can WWE be inconsiderate and just put on a counter programming so they can move it down early for us? I know it's a very selfish request, but I ain't going to watch the WWE shows. So,
now, one of the shows is also happening at a convention again. Do you remember, like last year, it was at GalaxyCon, one of the shows, in Collision?
I think so.
I think there was a big match with Kyle Fletcher involved. They're going to do it at an event, like at a con. It's quite good fun.
I think wasn't one of the earliest AEW shows at a con? Wasn't it the actual Fighter Fest?
Yeah, probably. it was part of the Fighter Fest gaming tournament.
I'll say Cardiff for you, Sean.
So Sean throwing out some extra spice in here. What if Danielson ultimately comes back to be leader? Do you know what? I can see it happening.
I would love to see that happen. What could potentially happen is he'll be one of the guys that actually helps Mox when they kick him out. But we will see. The prospect is so tantalizing.
But yeah, I'm very excited about this Continental Classic. Like, just how this is all working out. It looks so good.
It's the best. It's one of the best times in the wrestling calendar. I say this with no hyperbole. If you are genuinely here not to be sports entertained, but to see some actual work rate wrestling, this is the show for you. Because there's some great wrestling matches put on.
Yeah, and also you know that the matches aren't going to be interrupted with silly bollocks, as it were.
You say that some of it might be interrupted by some silly bollocks. Look at some of the people here.
I mean, look, you know. It is what it is. All right, so let's make some wild predictions. So we've said we've talked about like 0 points. Who in the Gold League do you reckon might go for 0 points?
Well, I think now you in the Gold League.
Yeah, this one on the screen now. So Darby, Pac, Kevin, Bailey, Fletcher, Okada.
It's gonna have to be Kevin. I don't see Pac having with the.
I'll tell you. Let me rephrase the question: who will end up having the lowest points in the Gold League? Because I still don't think anyone's going to go 0.
Kevin Knight. I think it's Kevin. I think Speedball will get a couple of points ahead of him, but it could be second to last. I don't see Darby losing all that much. I don't see Pac losing all that much. Kyle, maybe. Maybe that's the start of a losing streak for him. I don't know. Okada, are you having a laugh, Jeremy? No. So, no.
Imagine if he did.
Oh, my God, no.
Okay, so here's my next random question. How many draws in the entire tournament do you think we'll get? How many 20-minute time limit draws?
1. And it will be Takeshita and Okada.
But they can only meet in the semi-final or final.
I stand by it.
Maybe never ends.
They'll be co-champions. That will be fun.
I'm going to say there will be a 20-minute time limit draw on Dynamite this week.
Ooh. Do we
and
know
then there will be one in Manchester.
I'm going to make you do homework. What's the opening matches in these brackets?
I don't know if they've announced it yet, to be fair.
Ooh.
You might have to look on social media, because I sure as heck don't.
That'll be research for another time.
Yeah, I was going to quickly try and... hang on, let me see if I can load up anything.
As he then starts researching.
I'm not logged into anything. I'm trying to see if I can find anything that's been said.
Be careful, you might get spoiled. Well, while Jeremy does the research he totally wasn't going to research on.
I've given up. I wouldn't worry.
Okay, let's move over to the blue bracket. Takeshi's going to win a scoop up a lot of points here. I still reckon you've won me over. Moxley's going to be like bottom.
Yeah,
and I think it's the natural order of things. What the hell happened to my pitch?
I just adjusted it. Fine.
I think Orange Cassidy is going to be the surprise.
Okay.
I still look at Mascara.
Just say Dorada. It's far easier.
Dorada. I still look at Dorada and say, where do you fit in this tapestry?
To have some, you know what it is, mate? To have some damn good matches.
Oh, he's going to have some damn great matches.
Him and Takeshita, him and Claudio is going to be so damn good. Him and Orange Cassidy is, I guarantee you, him and Cassidy, people are going to be like, what the heck? It's going to be such good fun.
You're talking about great workhorse wrestling. Roderick Strong.
Yeah.
Roderick Strong, great guy.
You know what I love about the C2 matches? We're being very wild about what we're saying. We can't predict it.
That's what's so good about it.
That's what's so good about it.
Like, people could critique, and for good reason, it's basically a repeat of the G1. It's an American G1. Great! Bloody great. Have you watched the G1? F me! Like, F me! One of the best tournaments in the fucking world. Of course, Tony Khan's going to go with his sherbet fountain and go, I want that. Of course he's going to. And you know what? And has some fucking good matches on top of that. Tap into my sodding veins. You can say your criticism about this being a copycat G1 and shove it right up your ass. Sorry, go on.
Okay. Well, I was going to say, I think that's going to gradually begin to wind things down, folks. What we're going to do, we're going to take another quick break. I say quick break. Have a couple of minutes break. We're going to play a little video for you showing where a bunch of the Bunker team do their streams and stuff. Then we'll be back to close out the show proper. So back in a couple of minutes' time with the closeout.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give you a big punch like that.
Name something you and your spouse have very TVs.
I'm gonna go with TV.
No! Is this what you wanted? A succulent common person running for dear life?
No, I don't like coffee.
That was cold-blooded murder. I've got one shot. Got him!
If you want us to go into a dressing room, make us a noise now.
Moo.
How is it voice?
Dum, 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 dum. Oh, I like this. I don't like this. How do, fellow kids? Yes! What a perfect time to be raided. Hello!
With my help, you'll be well on your way to creating the finest cake you've ever laid eyes on. Now, you're going to need a lot of sugar. And me, naked. Prepare to ice those buns. I don't know why there's buns in a chocolate cake, but I don't care.
Stretch both your arms and your legs, okay?
I'll be honest with you, I'm distracted.
That's it. Okay, now the third one we're gonna do, we're gonna move.
No,
Oh,
I'm
we're gonna
gonna
start in
watch. So you have a maneuver for sitting down on a tray. Do you know what? You've earned this. Hang on. Yes, I do.
No, Chris. What?
Yes! Yes! The wall monster ate him!
Matty, I come to you with breaking news.
Oh God, what?
Well, breaking news as of 2 hours ago. So this Friday night at CMLL, Death Riders are coming because Claudio has answered an open challenge for the CMLL World Heavyweight Champion Gran Guerrero's open challenge for the title. So
my
Claudio is
Lord.
challenging for the CMLL World Belt. And apparently, I'm going to butcher these names, the World Tag Team Champions Angel de Oro and Nebla Roja will be defending against everyone's favorite punk tag team, Wheeler Yuta and Daniel Garcia.
Oh, the bitches. Gotcha.
There you go. Far more apt name. So, yeah, they're going to be challenging for CMLL Gold, all three of those people on Friday.
You remember when Wheeler Yuta was feuding with Daniel Garcia for the ROH Pure Championship? What a fantastic feud that was. And now they're just a couple of bitches. Remember
when he wore those bright white and green tights?
Oh, God.
But yes, folks.
That's great news.
There you go. But yes, folks, that's going to basically wrap up things for tonight here on BunkaMania. You've seen where you can check out various streams. And in terms of, I've got to just mention now, if you want to find me at all, search linktree/Giraffemy, JERAFFEMY. There you can find details on when I do things. Usually Friday nights at around 7 p.m. on Twitch is when I do something. In terms of upcoming things, obviously we've mentioned Danemus over on the Deca Dane channel. There may be some BunkaMania UK related activity surrounding that as well, so do not be surprised if that happens. In terms of other upcoming shows, we might, do something relating to John Cena's final match. We don't know yet.
We potentially are. I know that the idea is that the Deca Dane's last BunkaMania wrestling review will be John Cena's last match. That's the idea. So look forward to that when it comes. I might even watch it. I might even watch that show because I'll be honest with you all, I have not watched the WWE show since SummerSlam.
Apparently Survivor Series is on Sunday, according to Ian. So,
and I'm not going to watch that either. So I'm so done with WWE for reasons I won't say on screen because it'll be hot takes aplenty. There we go. So, seen the review on December 14th in the evening after Dame's stream.
There you go.
So that will be it. Speaking of things that may be it, I just got to say on a personal front that streaming with this mofo right over there has been a genuine joy, an absolute joy, because we may not do this all that often. The scheduling has been an absolute bitch, but when we stream together, doing one of these they've been absolutely fantastic. So, Jeremy, thank you very much. It's been
thank you too, mate. Right back at you. Right back at you. So, yes, folks, we're going to wrap up for now. Stay tuned for more info as it becomes available. If you're not already following subscribe on YouTube. That's the word I wanted to use for BunkaMania UK. You can do so on the corresponding platforms. From myself, Jeremy, from MattyBoo, this has been BunkaMania UK talking about AEW Full Gear 2025 and the Continental Classic lineup. We'll be back very, very soon. Take care. Have a good evening. And for all the Arsenal fans out there, North London is red. Talk soon.
Oh, God.